Hey yo, I'm back with another video, and today I want to talk about UFC Macau that is going to take place next weekend, 23rd of November, where Petr Yan is going to fight against Deiveson Figueiredo. And before I start today's video, subscribe to my channel and also watch this video at 2x speed. I want to get to 2,000 subscribers before the end of this year. All right. Okay. I'll start from the early prelims. I'm going to follow the topology page because last time I followed the UFC official pages, and there were a couple of fights that were missing. All right. Maheshate Haishir, he's going to fight against Nicolas Mota. I don't know much about these dude. I think I've seen him fight recently somewhere. Yep. He lost to Yasaslav Rosheshev. He lost to Rafa Garcia. He won against Gabriel Benitez. There is a chance that he might win against Nicolas Mota because he will also be fighting in his home turf. And Nicolas Mota, he won against Tom Nolan, lost against Manuel Torres, lost against Jim Miller, won against Cameron Van Camp. So I don't care who wins this fights, all right? It just doesn't matter. Long Xiao, he also, I think, recently lost his last fight. Yep, he lost against Cheng Ho Lee. And he won against, like, he has fought only once in UFC. Kwong Le, I don't know how many times. He lost his last fight against Chris Gutierrez. Yep, a unanimous decision loss against Chris Gutierrez. Not exactly that bad, so I'm gonna go with Kwang Le because the kind of competition, Chris Gutierrez is much better than whatever fighter that this guy has fought against. That is whatever fighter Long Jiao has fought against. Okay, this seems like an interesting fight. Loner Cavana is fighting against Jose Ochoa. Loner Cavana is a unique name because it does not sound like Chinese name, and he's for the flag that he is representing is China. So kind of an interesting fight, to be honest. Probably he trains in China. Maybe that is the reason he is representing the Chinese flag. Big respect to him for that. He's whatever. And there is Jose Ochoa. Jose Ochoa is from Peru. He is fighting against Loner Cavana from China. So I think Loner Cavana is probably going to be winning this fight. He's a really short fighter. Like here, he's really a small fighter. He's 5'4", whereas Jose Ochoa is 5'7". It'll be difficult for me to predict this fight, honestly, because he looks bigger. This guy looks more talented for some reason. He's from UK. The current UK fighters are doing really well. He's ranked number 10 in UK. This guy is ranked number 42 in Latin America. They're both 7-0. And the home turf advantage and the fact that he is training in China is he'll be more used to the surroundings, to the environment, to the climate and everything. So he should take this win. He should take this win. If you cannot, then there is something wrong. And Tumendem Berel. He is from Mongolia, and I think the UFC is trying to make a star out of him. And the last fighter that we saw from Mongolia was, who was the last fighter that we saw from Mongolia? I don't remember. There have been very few fighters from Mongolia. But this dude, he is undefeated, and I'm assuming he is a grappler. Okay, a Mongolian grappler, a Mongolian wrestler. That is actually I would say a good recipe to win. That sounds better. Instead of a Mongolian striker, the Mongolian wrestler sounds like a better, I would say, I don't know how to say it, like it sounds better. It has a better sounding to it. And as a wrestler, I think he should win against Carlos Hernandez. I am hoping that we can see a Mongolian fighter in the UFC, and I think he will be fighting in flyweight. Flyweight, it will be good actually. I think so. In MMA, ultimately the bantamweight and the flyweights are going to be dominated by the Asian fighters because when you look at wrestling, Japan is winning most of the medals in the smaller weight categories. And you see, even in judo, you see smaller, like Japan doing really well in judo. Even in boxing, we got Naoya Inoue and others as well from Philippines. Manny Pacquiao was from Philippines. So I think the same thing is going to happen in boxing, in MMA as well. The smaller fighters, like the smaller weight classes, that is flyweight, bantamweight, maybe featherweight, a couple of featherweights from Japan, we might see them. But welterweight upwards, it'll be difficult to see a lot of Chinese or Japanese or any other fighters from Asia. But we do have there is this Zhang, Zhang, the guy who knocked out Deontay Wilder. He's a heavyweight boxer. We have him. And I think he should win this fight. They're probably Carlos Hernandez doesn't look really good. He lost his last fight, so he lost against Ray Suruya. He lost against Tatsuro Taira. That was a and he won against Dennis Bonder. I guess this fighter and Tumendem Birel and Tumendem Berel. I think he should win this fight. Okay, Jian Shang Fang versus Bing Shi. I think Jian Shang Fang. She's really young. She's 22 years old. She's only 22 years old. She's much younger than me. I'm 24, 25 right now. She's like 22, so she's going to turn 23. I think she should win this fight. She's a much younger fighter. Kiru Sahota versus Dong Hu Choi. I cannot really predict who's going to win this fight exactly because Dong Hu Choi, he looked good in his last fight. He did not look, I would say he did not look phenomenal, but he did look good against Angad Bisht. And he has defeated a couple of good fighters. I mean, he's also 7-0, I guess. He's what, 8-0. His current record is 8-0. Not exactly, uh, I would say, not exactly the most experienced fighter, but he's fighting out of Korea, and Kiro Sahota is fighting out of England. A lot of people think that he's Indian. Well, he's Indian origin, but he was born in Huddersfield, England. He probably, yeah, he trains out of Manchester, England. So he can win this fight. Like, look, he's 5'10 in the flyweight division. He's pretty tall. That's like extremely tall for the flyweight division. 5'10 is even tall for a featherweight. 5'10 is Habib's height. All right, I think Makachev and Habib are like 5'10. So you're getting my point. He's as tall as Manny Moicano. He's probably as tall as Manny Moicano, as tall as Habib, he's taller than Conor McGregor, and he's fighting at flyweight. You're getting my point. He's as tall as GSP. You're getting my point. This dude is massive. He's really tall for this division. You know who else was really tall for this division? Steve Carell, who just got Steve Arsek. Steve Arsek. I just said Steve Carell for God knows. Steve Arsek. He got knocked out, by the way. So he might get knocked out by, but Dong Hu Choi, I don't think he's that much of a power puncher like Kai Kara France. I don't think he's a great striker. So I don't know who's going to win this fight. He's only 29 years old, so he's also fairly young. He's not exactly that young, but 29, he's in his prime compared to Dung Hon Choi. So I'm gonna go with, I don't know, I'm gonna go with Dung Ho Choi. Dung Hon Choi. I just think he's going to win this fight somehow. Uh, yeah. Sun Young Yu versus Belgian Zen. I'm gonna go with the Chinese fighter because he's fighting in Macau, so he'll have more home ground advantage. It doesn't make any sense. Ozzy Diaz is fighting against Miang Yang Zhang. I'm gonna go with Miang Yang Zhang because the last fighter that we know whose name was Zhang, he knocked out Deontay Wilder. So this guy might be related to him. This guy might have trained with him, and he's 17-6. We do not see big fighters out of China. We do not see big heavyweights out of Japan and China and the Asian countries. When you see one like him, it's interesting. It's interesting. I think he's going to win this fight probably by. He's only 26 years old. He's fairly young especially for the light heavyweight division. That is really young. I think he finished his last opponent. Yes, those were hammer fist. So I think he should win this fight. And as far as Jose Diaz is concerned, he I think fought in LFA recently. His last fights were in LFA. This is going to be his UFC debut, and he'll be fighting in China. So yeah, I think I'm gonna go with the Miang Yang Zheng. Volkan Oezdemir, he's fighting against Carlos Ulberg. I'm going to go with Carlos Ulberg because Carlos Ulberg is young and he has a momentum with him. He's on a 5 or a 6 fight winning streak. I think he lost his debut, and after that, he's been winning all his fights. His last fight, yeah, his last loss was against Kennedy Njoku, and that was his round 2, 319. He got caught, he got knocked out. That is back when 2021. He fought 3 times in 2022. He fought 2 times in 2023, and he fought once in 2024 where he knocked out. He fought in May, so exactly not a big deal if you fought in May. I mean, he's pretty fresh, he's pretty good, and he trains with Israel Adesanya, he trains with Dan Hooker, he trains with Kakara France, and they've got a couple of other good kickboxers in there. And Volkan Oezdemir, not exactly the greatest wrestler, he got finished by Anthony Smith. So I don't think Volkan Oezdemir is going to shoot for a takedown. Also, Oezdemir has been in wars, he has seen a lot of damage. And Carlos Ulberg is actually 34 years old. I did not notice that. He's pretty old, to be honest. But I think Carlos Ulberg is going to win this fight. As far as Volkan Oezdemir is concerned, he's 35. He's only 1 year older than Ulberg, but he has taken more damage, that is for sure, and he has more experience than Ulberg. So it'll be an interesting. His last, he won against Bogdan Guskov. Who's Bogdan Guskov? Yes, this dude. Yeah, he. So I think he can win. I think he can win, but I'm still going to go with Carlos Alberg because I don't know. I just feel like he's going to win. Kong Wang versus Gabriela Fernandez. I'm going to go with Kong Wang because she defeated Valentina Shevchenko in kickboxing. So I think she's going to be a better striker. I don't know much about Gabriela Fernandez Hermogenes because I don't know. I don't know. Maybe she's, I don't know her. She wins by guillotines, decision, RNCs. So this will, she might give a lot of problems. She might give some problem to Kang Wang because she's a grappler. But they're fighting in China, so that kind of neutralizes it. Kenan Song is fighting against Muslim Salikov. I'm gonna go with Salikov because Kenan Song got finished by, I don't know who he won against. He got finished by Kevin Hussein. No, he got finished by Ian Gary and Max Griffin. Max Griffin is not exactly a high level fighter. And Kevin Hussein, I don't even know who Kevin Hussein is. I think he's probably a French fighter, but I'm going to go with Salikov. I think Salikov is going to win this one, probably by a boring unanimous decision. He will hold him on the ground, and that is how he will win. But Kenan Song did rock Ian Gary, so he has that in his arsenal. So, yeah. Yan Xiaonan is fighting against Tabatha Ricci. This should be a good fight. Tabatha Ricci, she's on a winning streak. She defeated Angela Hale, Tasha Pennington. That is Raquel Pennington's wife. Lupita Godinez. She lost to Lupita Godinez, so not exactly the best of the best, but she did defeat Angela Hill, and Angela Hill is extremely old, so I'm going to go with Yan Xiaonan. Yan is 35. She's pretty old as well, but she's fighting in China. She will have the home crowd advantage. Her last fight was against Wei Li Zhang, but she did take a lot of damage in that fight. So I'm going to go with Tabatha Ricci. I think she'll get this win. She also last fought in August, so I'm going to go with Tabatha Ricci. Now the main event, I should do a proper like breakdown of this fight. But for now, I think Petr Yan is going to win this probably with a unanimous decision. I think so. For 5 rounds, I think towards the like Deiveson Figueiredo, I think he will have advantage in the first round and the second round. Towards the end of second round, I think Petr Yan is going to pick up. He's going to download the data. He's going to be able to see the openings, and then eventually he's going to win. He's going to land more. He's going to land better shots. He will be more efficient. I think then we can see Petr Yan winning this by unanimous decision. Again, both of them are like really fan favorite fighters, to be honest. Like the UFC hardcores, the UFC longtime UFC fan, they both love Petr Yan and Deiveson Figueiredo. Like Petr Yan a little bit more because we all love the No Mercy. We all love him for what he did against Aljamain Sterling. I think he should have doubled down on him. I think he should have knocked him out a little harder because ever since that knockout, I think Aljo has become a much better human being. But his fight will be with Movsar Evloev will be really interesting. That'll be really interesting. But whatever. But how old are both of them? I mean, Petr Yan did win his last fight. That was against Song Yadong. Song Yadong versus Petr Yan. I think in that fight I would have favored Song Yadong to win. But the kind of fighter that Figueiredo has been fighting has also been good. Like he defeated Rock Font. Good fight. Cody Garbrandt, that we don't need to take that into account because Cody is gone. Like he's not at the level of Rock Font or Marlon Vera. He did defeat Marlon Vera by unanimous decision. So I think this is going to be a 5-round fight. So I'm interested in seeing if Deiveson Figueiredo can go 5 rounds in the bantamweight division at the age of 36. And if Petr is also 36, I think so. No, Petr is only 31. Petr is really young, dude. Wow, he's really young and he has fought like a lot. He was on a 3-fight losing streak and we were all really worried about it. He lost against Aljamain Sterling. But there was like a split decision loss. The same thing with Sean O'Malley. I think we won. And the same thing with Merab Dvalishvili. Again, Merab is like a really annoying fighter. Please, UFC, please, the MMA gods, we need to see Merab versus Umar Nurmagomedov so that Umar beats the shit out of him. So that Merab is not going to wrestle against Umar. Any grappler, any striker that you put against Merab, Merab is going to take him to the ground and he's going to hold him on the ground and he's going to win just by grappling. Not even grappling, just by putting him on the ground. And most of the times he cannot even put you on the ground. He just shoots for takedown after takedown after takedown and he keeps failing. He did that against Jose Aldo. So he's not going to do that against Umar Nurmagomedov because Umar will somehow find a way to get back up and probably Umar will take him down and Umar is going to knock him out. I think so. I think that's going to happen. Also, he's going to have Khabib in his corner. There is no way Merab and his team are going to say something stupid. Whatever they were doing against Sean O'Malley's coaches and whatnot, I don't give a damn. But he's not going to say a jack shit to Makhachev and Khabib in Umar's corner. I'm telling you, nobody from that entire team of Ray Longo and whatever guys, they're not going to say a jack shit to Khabib and his team. Trust me, they're not. They're going to get beaten up if they do that. Especially, I don't know where they're going to fight. Especially if that fight is going to take place in Abu Dhabi. Try that. Try that against uh, whatever. Try that against Habib and his team. Okay, but in this fight, I think, like I said, I already told you, I think Petr is going to win this by unanimous decision. I guess that is my prediction. I'm going to repeat my prediction. I'll probably do a breakdown of these specific fight. But apart from that, let me just repeat. Mahaseda Haisier versus Nicolas, but I have no idea. Longxia versus Quang Li. I'm going to go with Quang Li because he lost to Chris Gutierrez, who is a much better fighter. Leonard Cavana versus Jose Ochoa. I cannot really predict because they're both looking really good, and he's fighting out of China and he's 5'4". So that is Henry Cejudo's height, by the way. Carlos Hernandez versus N. Tumandan Burrell. I'm going to go with Tumandan Burrell because he's fighting out of Mongolia, which is the border country of China. So he will be really uh, accustomed to the weather. He'll be really accustomed to the fans and everything. So it'll be interesting. I think it's going to be him. Xiaoshan Fang versus Ming Xie. I'm going to go with Xiaoshan Fang. Kiro Sahota versus Dong Hun Choi. I'm going to go with Dong Hun Choi by a split decision. Su Young Yu versus Beglin Zhensuili. I'm going to go with Zhensuili because he's fighting in China again. Ozzy Diaz versus Miang Cheng Cheng. I'm going to go with Jiang Cheng Cheng. Ming Yang Cheng. Volkan Ozdemir versus Carlos Alberg. Ooh, I'm kind of skeptical in this fight, but still, I'm gonna go with Carlos Alberg just because it doesn't matter. Kong Wang versus Gabriela Fernandez. I'm gonna go with Gabriela Fernandez. Let's just see what happens. Kenon Sang versus Muslim Psycho. I'm gonna go with Soliko by a unanimous decision. Xiaonan versus Tabatha Ricci. I'm gonna go with Tabatha Ricci. Probably by a unanimous decision. I think this will be a 3-round fight. Okay, 5-5. Petr Yan versus Deiveson Figueiredo. I'm gonna go with Petr Yan again by a unanimous decision. I guess that's it from this video. If you enjoyed this video, drop a like and please share this video to your friends and family who enjoy watching UFC. And please subscribe to my channel. I've got very few subscribers. And peace out.